Since BioForge is my all-time favorite, that's gonna be the first review on this channel. When I first saw this box with this weird sort of radioactive robot hand on the cover, I fell in love with it and I haven't even played the game yet. It is bloody awesome cover. BioForge was developed by Origin for MS-DOS in 1995. Origin's slogan was "We create worlds." And boy, this is some world they created. The game starts with per-rendered intro. All games started like that back at 90s.
This is Marine Dropship Ronik to Control, making final approach for delivery of supply requisition B9-3Q and prisoner AP.
Someone, apparently the main protagonist, has been transported to some facility on some distant planet in distant future. Then he gets cut to pieces while he's still awake by some creepy looking bloke, and that's where the intro ends. It is pretty vague, but for a good reason. BioForge's story is an amazing cyberpunk sci-fi horror that makes a lot of films or books run for their money. It toys with your deepest emotions through the entire game. It shows you blood, it shows you horror, it shows you despair and madness.
Don't let them put me back together. I don't want to be walking around like you. Just do it. Kill me!
Horror doesn't strike you when you fight an enemy or watch their mutilated bodies and body parts lying around. It strikes you most when you read journals that you found along the way, and when you realize that you will never be a normal human being again, and also not have sex ever. This game attacks your innermost emotions and feelings. It can get you goosebumps just by running about and listening to ambient music and screams. You play as a newly created cyborg named Lex. You wake up in a locked cell guarded by some kind of medical robot with homicidal intentions. After you simultaneously get rid of the robot and break the cell force field, you'll find yourself in a prison of sorts. You apparently don't remember anything and you don't know where you are. Step by step you'll unravel what actually happened to you, why there is a facility on this planet, and how to get the hell out of there. To find all the answers, you'll need to solve some puzzles and fight a lot of enemies. BioForge is part adventure game and part fighting game. This combination makes it quite unique even by today's standards. After you get out of your cell, you need to find a way through a malfunctioning door. To do that, you need to get into this guy's cell to get the fork. And yes, he's blue. And without an arm, which of course you can use to beat him up with. Come on, mate, I just want the fork. You're a massive wanker. I bet that's why I lost an arm. I can shoot the voiceovers. Fighting is a big part of the game, and you'll be doing lots of that. It kinda reminds me of Virtua Fighter, even though it's not as fast or even that good. And controls are a bit clunky during fights. Normally, you move about using arrow keys. Space is used for picking up and using items. To run, hold shift, inventory opens with I, options with O, and your cyborg body diagnostics with D. If you wanna fight in hand-to-hand combat, take a guess what key you would use to enter combat mode. And you can even do somersault. To kick, just press Ctrl plus any key on the numpad. Try all of them and see what they do. Same thing with punches, but you need to press Alt instead. It takes some time to get used to controls, and once you do, you'll be cracking every skull in a game like a pro. When you go through the intro, you get to choose combat difficulty, easy, medium or hard. I've heard people complain about combat difficulty not having any effect on gameplay or story, and maybe, just maybe, that's because it's combat difficulty, which affects combat. There are of course some differences. For example, if you play hard difficulty, it takes about 3 or 4 hits to get you killed. And also it takes a lot more to kill an enemy. To make it even harder, you can't use the same move in a row. If you do, the next move is a lot slower. I really enjoyed the fighting part, even though some enemies were so bloody hard and it took some number of deaths before I defeated some of them. When you get injured, you start limping, and when you get injured a lot, you start dragging your leg behind, and even fall down when you attempt to run. I like it, it's a nice touch. When you get tired of fighting hand to hand, there are also a couple of guns. You can even reflect shots from certain surfaces. That's pretty sick if you don't hit yourself by mistake. Adventure part consists of picking up some stuff, using it on other stuff and getting some stuff in return, solving puzzles, and of course astonishing story, which is perfectly integrated into this amazingly detailed world, at least it was in the 90s. You'll find computers, journals and terminals along the way. Reading through them not only adds to the story and creepiness of the place, you'll also get valuable information like passwords and codes. Even though the game is quite old, it still looks great in my opinion. Graphics are unmatched for the year, Origin used state-of-the-art motion capture, and because it wasn't perfect and couldn't show smooth human animation, they decided to make the main character a cyborg. As I said before, fighting is a big part of the game and the motion capture helped a lot. It may behave a bit unpredictably at times, but again, practice makes perfect and once you get used to it, it works like a charm. They used MIDI for music and to be honest, don't even bother using FM synthesis. Just use some kind of wavetable card if you're playing on an older computer or software wavetable synthesis if you're playing in DOSBox, otherwise you miss a lot. Music fits perfect in the game's setting of some hidden lab on a hostile planet. Sound effects are generally excellent, except the sounds of actual hits. It kinda sounds like cheap Chinese film from that era, just listen to that. Even I could do better. See, other than that, sounds are great. Distant screams, eerie environment, dialogues with your enemies, which are a bit cheesy, but fit quite good. And what's my score, you ask? Well, BioForge got some weak points, but in my eyes it deserves 95%.